Hi, Matt Hicks here. I thought I would do a quick video on a new set of strings I've put on my ukulele. Now, in a change of habit of a lifetime, literally, over the last 15 years, I've always either played soprano or concert ukuleles. I've got myself a baritone ukulele, and I just thought I would have a play around with different strings. Now, I've always been a fluorocarbon man, and for many reasons, fluorocarbon are unparalleled. However, there is an element where I think sometimes a little bit of tone is lost in the nice ping that you get with your fluorocarbons. Before I used fluorocarbons, I used to use Aquila Reds on all my ukes for the very reason that their tone, I think, is unmatched. But they've had a bit of a bad press over the years because of their tendency to break. Now, I've always argued that it isn't the string. Okay, now they look very brittle, but they're quite strong strings. But they have metal particles in. I don't know if it's copper or whatever, but essentially a lot of people kind of talked about Aquila Reds snapping spontaneously. Now they're not snapping spontaneously. What the problem is actually if a ukulele isn't properly set up. So what you tend to get in factory models that aren't set up by the shops you're buying from, you tend to get quite sharp edges on your nut or on your saddle. And that can lead to string breakages. Now, arguably, you can get that with any string, although fluorocarbon, obviously, in another life, they're fishing line and are notoriously quite robust. That's fair enough. But actually, every uke deserves to have a proper setup. And what a proper setup should do is iron out those sharp edges. So theoretically, with the right uke, with the right setup, your Aquila Reds shouldn't be breaking. So I thought my hand has been a little bit forced because I had fluorocarbons on these and their strings just broken. And I thought, rather than go online, which is what I tend to do, I thought I'd go to my local guitar shop and see what they've got. And lo and behold, they had a set of D'Addario titaniums, which I'll try next and probably do a video on at some point, and Aquila Reds. And I thought I would put these on first. And do you know what? I'm not surprised because I know that they've got a lovely tone, but I am absolutely chuffed to bits with them. Now, the difference with Aquila Reds, and I think they've changed over the years, is that Aquila have come up with a bit of a technology whereby they can not increase the size of the gauge. So baritone strings typically have a wider gauge to cope with intonation and to get that deeper tone. What Aquila have done is managed to have a technology where they keep the strings fairly thin, but they keep that deep tone. But they also have, because of that slightly added tension, they have that extra ping about them. So I'll let the strings speak for themselves, but I'm really, really pleasantly surprised. We'll see how well set up this ukulele is and see if any string snap. Sorry. Another aspect of string snappage, again, is stretching them as you're putting the strings on. Now, I try and avoid stretching strings because it can alter the uniform width or gauge of the string, and that can lead to snapping. And certainly on the Aquila Reds, it can lead to that. All right, so Aquila Reds, if you're nice and gentle with them, okay, they will give you your value for money. Absolutely. So get your uke set up by a local guitar shop or luthier and then get these on them. Okay, so I'm going to let the strings do the talking. Literally just put them on. So I'm having to tune every 30 seconds. That's normal. It's going to take about 3 to 4 days for these strings to settle, and that's normal for a ukulele, all right? But here goes. See what you think. Okay, there we go. I'm going to stop there before the strings go out of tune, but I'm really impressed with them. And do you know, I might actually stick with these for a little while. I really would recommend them. Anyway, if you see them online, that's what the package looks like. And yeah, Aquila strings. I've got a real affinity for Aquila as a company because they are they revolutionised ukulele strings, I think, with when they brought in neel gut strings. And before then, it was all nylon, and I really struggle with certain nylon strings. So I think Aquila brought about a real game changer, and they continue to try and think outside the box in terms of providing different strings and experimenting with different strings so that people can choose what kind of tone they get on their uke. So I really like them, and I think you get a lot of tone in them. Again, they get a bit of an unfair press with their Aquila neel guts, and I'll do a separate review on them at some point. But essentially, the reason Aquilas very often sound dead, their strings, is because they end up as factory models, factory strings. So they're put on in the factories. Now, all those ukes that are made in the Far East, they end up on shipping containers. So they're travelling thousands of miles in numerous different climates and atmospheres and temperatures. And then they're stuck in a warehouse in a shop for goodness knows how long. So when you get a new uke, unless the ukulele shop, again, sets it up properly and changes the strings, very often what you get is a uke that's probably about 3 months old already, if not longer, and the strings are pretty old, okay, and have been under a lot of different temperatures. So get a new set of Aquila nail guts on a uke, and they sound incredible. And I would stand by that argument any day, and I would happy to debate that with anyone. In fact, I may just get a set of nail guts in future and put them on a uke, and I'll demonstrate that. But Aquila as a company really are still forging ahead. I still think fluorocarbons are a little bit one-dimensional in many ways, and Aquila are, trying to do something different in the, to promote tone over volume and projection. But that said, for a baritone, these have got lots of projection, lots of volume, and lovely, lovely tone. Anyway, I'm rambling. Go out and get some, and really, really pleased with these.